Again, one of those chapters where at first when I was reading the chapter, I was like, okay, niggas gonna be mad, but I didn't expect niggas to be this mad, right? People are pissed. But today I got Sai with me, got JD Legend.
Yo.
How y'all feeling?
I'm gonna let you.
I love this chapter.
I'm gonna let you go ahead. Go ahead. You love this chapter.
It's such a good chapter, man. I love how divisive it is, and
it's great for conversation.
Like, I don't know. Yeah,
Sure.
it's a good conversation, that's for sure. Like it feels like nothing happened because we just got like rehashed dialogue.
A lot of rehashed
so
dialogue.
much happened at the same time.
Flashback. They say we got Toei flashback in the manga.
Oh my goodness.
Jay, your quick thoughts before we dive deep into this.
I mean, I'm not gonna hide it. Like I was bitterly disappointed with the chapter.
Wow.
Not a fan of the chapter.
Jay is now feeling the chapter.
No, just no. But you know, the stuff I did like, I'll say, is the Luffy kind of really stepping into the Yonko.
Yeah.
You know, he's talking like a Yonko now. And before he wasn't, but now I think he realizes the influence he has, where he gives Momo the flag, and that's something I really liked from the chapter. So if I had to say anything, that's it. But
if I was forced to, gun to my
head.
head.
If I was gun to my head.
That's what I would say about this chapter. Golly, Jay. All right, we can start from the top.
That's a good note.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. From anime to movies to commercials, food has always been made to look great, and because of One Piece, I've always wondered what it would be like to be on the Thousand Sunny eating Sanji's amazing cooking every day. However, what if you could have that quality of food delivered right to your doorstep every week? Well, not from Sanji, but look no further than today's sponsor, Factor. So, Factor provides chef-created meals that are fresh, never frozen, and designed by dietitians to ensure that every meal is packed with premium, science-backed nutritional quality. So no more meal prep, no more dishes, no more unhealthy fast food. Factor offers the most convenient way to eat well while eating right. Factor's menus are updated weekly and include 27 plus meals and 34 plus add-on options. Every time I had long periods of consistency in the gym, I felt absolutely great about getting that workout done. But every time I drove back home, the fast food drive-thrus always tempted me with burgers, chicken nuggets, Oreo-flavored ice creams, and don't get me started on the donuts, okay? I mean, you thought I liked Cat Curry for nothing, but I would have been so much better off knowing I had a delicious and healthy pre-made meal waiting for me when I got home. You might already have a strict diet. You could be a vegan or a vegetarian. Maybe you're on keto, or maybe you're a pescatarian. Factor covers everything. And listen, not everybody is a health expert, so why not take stress of meal prepping and research out of your hands and leave it up to Factor? Factor completely cuts out stressful meal planning and extensive prepping, so meals come together in minutes. It's taking the guesswork out of what to make for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and improving your fitness. It starts with food, and Factor makes it possible for you to achieve your daily goals through nutritious, purposeful eating, okay? Ingredients with integrity and dietitian approved. So guys, don't wait. Head to go.factor75.com and use code POGBDA130 for $120 off across 5 boxes. I hope I convinced you because Factor is really amazing. Link in description below. Well, let me ask you, how y'all doing? How y'all been? Y'all feeling good? Are good? Everything good?
I'm feeling fantastic.
Is life?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, man.
Straight. Cool.
Yeah,
All
what
right.
about you, man? You good?
Yeah, man. Come on, bro. We got One Piece. Best chapter. 1057.
Yeah, the best chapter out here, yeah? The best chapter.
Come on, man. Chapter of the year.
How can we stay mad?
You're right.
Come on, bro. Chapter of the year. Let's go.
I can't believe myself.
I mean, I've been seeing Jay's rants all over Twitter, so it's hilarious right now.
I've seen them too. It's so good. I love it.
All right, so the chapter starts off with film red stuff, I guess. Child care meeting, where they're giving us more backstory with Uta and Shanks and his crew and everything transpiring there. Did you guys see the theory about this woman, this mysterious woman,
yes,
being Luffy's mom?
Luffy's mom.
I mean,
that's what people are saying at this point.
I mean, the kid looks like Luffy, right? Like, who else could that be?
The kid kind of does look like Luffy.
It does, but I thought it was Ace. It looked like Portuguese.
Oh, Rouge?
Yeah, Rouge.
Yeah, it does look like Rouge, huh?
It reminded me of Rouge, and that baby looks like Ace. So I was like,
that's an interesting perspective I didn't hear before.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking.
On.
I didn't pay too much.
It could be Rouge. I feel like Rouge has like more curly hair though.
Yeah, Rouge is a bit more curly. She didn't have bangs, I don't think, right?
Yeah.
How much she had bangs. But here's the thing: if it was Rouge, right? If this is Rouge, that means that Shanks knew about Ace all along. But in the novel, it made it seem like he didn't know anything about Ace. That's why the Ace thing was ruled out. You know, that's why I was like, this has to be. That's why people saying it's Luffy's mom, because this person they're assuming it's Luffy.
And they did grow up together. That does make sense, huh?
You know, and if
makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it can't be Uta.
No, it's not Uta. Definitely isn't Uta. So I don't know. I'm like, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, so I guess this person right now, as far as Luffy's mom, the candidate, she's number one. Crocodile is number two. We'll see how it starts. We start extending this list, or maybe Crocodile is one still. We got to see. What do y'all think about the child care meeting and Shanks taking on this responsibility and not understanding what it takes being a father? I guess that's why he left her. He's like, I can't deal with this shit no more.
I mean, we all saw this coming. This isn't like a surprise.
Yeah.
The red-haired pirates are like it's just a bunch of deadbeat dads so far. They try their best. they're
they try their best.
They're arguing 1 minute and then they're singing the next minute. Like they're trying.
They're trying their best, and they're like, you know what, this ain't for us, bro. Y'all gotta hold it down.
You respect the hustle.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, all right, we out of here. But I guess for me, what I like about it is that I'm gonna have a lot more context once I watch Film Red. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like I have some more backstory with Uta and Shanks, so it's not just because I doubt we're gonna get all this in the movie. You know, it's gonna be just jumping into it. Maybe some backstory, but I'm not sure if we're getting moments like this in the movie. So I guess that's what I like about it, as opposed to like what's going on.
That's what I like about the One Piece the anime filler we're getting right now too, because I feel like we're not getting any of that in the movie.
Yeah,
either.
I haven't watched it yet. I plan to watch it because I remember before, was it Film Gold, the Mad Treasure?
Yeah,
that's special.
The Mad Treasure guy, yeah.
Beat up the CP.
Yeah, that was best villain.
CP0 and all that. I was like, golly. I mean, we should have known CP0 was trash back then, but hey.
Oh, I mean, listen, I had hope for him, and I don't know, bro. At least Blue Hat went out like a G, bro. That's the one thing you can respect.
I suppose. You think he's dead?
If you want to call it that.
You think Blue Hat is dead?
I mean, he should be. Blue Scarf.
He's dead.
He should be.
He's dead.
Listen, if y'all see him at the next reverie, then you're like, hold on, how this nigga? We'll see.
Remember when they said the masked dudes are supposed to be the strongest ones too? What happened to that?
I mean, that's the pinnacle of strength for the masked dudes. I don't know, bro. My faith in the government is wavering. I ain't gonna lie. But here we go.
Is.
How did they stay in power?
It's trickery. All right, so let's get to the chapter 1057, final curtain. The cover story. What is this? What's going on here? See, why is Caesar getting involved? What did you guys think about this cover story?
Caesar wants a way out of here, man. Like, how else is he supposed to get out of Whole Cake Island? He's got to go with the Germa.
I thought it was like the path of least resistance. So he was like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna go with other scientists, right? At least, like, there's no way the Big Mom Pirates are gonna work with me. So let me just try to help them escape in a little bit. The tough part here is that Katakuri can use Future Sight. So I was thinking the only way Caesar can do something is if he used like gas that cannot be seen or traced. So it's like even if you see it, you're not seeing anything. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why Caesar can impact this. What do you think about it, Jay?
I was pleasantly surprised. For some reason, this cover story, this whole Cake Germa cover story has been really interesting.
Yeah.
Much better than the Pound Chronicles. That was pain. That was painful.
Yes.
But I'm not surprised. Caesar and Judge kind of weren't they all part of Mads? Judge, Queen, Caesar.
Yeah.
So it kind of just makes sense that he would join up with Germa anyway.
Right.
How they escape Whole Cake, I mean, Katakuri's out there.
That's what I'm saying.
So
like it's
I'm
just
like,
how do you make sense of it?
There's no. But I remember saying that. I'm like, there's no logic for them to escape. Like there's nothing.
But not only Katakuri, like we saw Cracker. He was chilling. At some point, we saw him in a cover story.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
If Katakuri is already backing up, Cracker's already up too. Like there's no, you know, what I mean? So they're not out of commission.
But yeah, we saw Cracker, so it's just like them escaping is just incompetence on the Big Mom Pirates again, and it just beating a dead horse at this point. So we're not even gonna.
It just doesn't look good for them because like they're set up to lose. Like this story is literally called like Germa's 66 is a cold blood voyage.
Yeah, so obviously they
have like
win.
that plot armor.
And it's like it's unfortunate. Cat is always going against plot, man, but it is what it is. That's the only way we can contain them.
That little bitterness there. I heard that.
Listen, man. Last week when I was reading the cover story, I was like, God, because I knew it was going to be some BS for them to get out of it.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a chance that Caesar and the German siblings beat
No
Katakuri?
way.
No, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
No.
We
There
saw,
shouldn't be,
we
but
saw
I mean,
Katakuri
I don't
against
know.
Ichiji. It was no competition, right? So I don't care if you add Yanji. Reiju got taken out by what, candy bullets, right? Was it right?
Yeah.
By pudding?
By pudding, right? Yanji got taken out by Sanji with his raid suit.
Yeah.
No,
The siblings are fodder.
fodder.
They're all fodder, man.
fodder.
If you
I'm
really think about
sorry.
it,
No
Reiju
way.
really did get all screened by pudding.
By pudding.
Yo.
What are we doing? And then she was like fighting with Smoothie. And I think didn't Smoothie say like, "Oh man, she's dangerous." Like where?
I remember. I remember.
But it is what it is, bro. I'm not gonna harp on this too much. We'll see what happens. Somebody said this is more interesting than the chapter. I was like, yo, y'all gotta chill. So chapter starts off, right? And it's a bunch of babble. But I was like, oh, okay. It's like a send off, right? They're like telling the story. It's a send off for the Red Scabbards, the Straw Hats, all this different stuff. Then I kind of skip forward a little bit. We get to Yamato saying she's not going out to sea. And the thing is, she
God.
talked to Luffy and the others about it, and we did not see that conversation. I'm not sure if Oda's going to have a flashback at some point when Yamato shows back up again. But Yamato is not going with the Straw Hats. Thoughts?
So I don't know. It's just so weird because it's like you said, we didn't see the conversation with Luffy. And this entire chapter, it's a send-off for Momonosuke in the country, but Yamato's kind of like left behind. Like it just feels like she's in the shadows. Like this isn't a Yamato send-off at all.
It doesn't
like we're just
feel
like,
like
hey,
Vivi.
see you later, Yamato.
It doesn't feel like Vivi.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Vivi. Not even for Momonosuke does it even really feel like Vivi.
Yeah.
Like this is the least impactful send-off at all. And just the fact that this is how Yamato's leaving is kind of strange.
What do you think, Jay?
I've been trying to take what Oda says with what Oda does with Yamato at face value, where I'm thinking, all right, it's inevitable. Yamato is at the banquet with them. They're already having like bathtub gags, like jacuzzi gags and everything. Sanji's already thirsting over her, so it's like you're already integrating her in the crew with all these gags, with all these Straw Hat like things, and then all of a sudden you see the last chapter, Yamato's like, oh well, I'm joining the crew, I'm a Straw Hat. I'm like, all right, I'm believing it, I'm choosing to believe it.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden I'm thinking, okay, all of this build up, the relationship with Ace, Kaido, the whole thing about wanting to be more like Odin, going out to sea, I'm thinking all of this makes sense. Yamato read the logbook, so Yamato turns into like what? The Straw Hat's info dump merchant, basically. And I'm thinking, all right, Yamato's going to be a part of this end game because she read the logbook. Everything pointed to, Straw Hat. It's over. Carrot stalks are in the mud. And all of a sudden, Yamato's like, yeah, I was just kidding. I'm staying. I'm sorry. I'm staying. And I'm like to myself, I'm thinking about it. And I'm like, so we went through all this strife, the beef about the gender and the pronouns, and then Oda coming out in the SBS just to address it because it was so toxic and it was poisoning the community. We went through all this trouble just for Yamato not to join the crew. I was like, that's such a waste. So much screen time.
There's so many things pointing her to the sea with the Straw Hats too. Like you said, like she had the promise with Ace back then that Ace couldn't fulfill. And then, like, she'd want to, know what's at the end of the logbook that Odin ripped out. And she's never going to see that if she doesn't go out. Like, it's so strange. It feels like a last-minute decision.
The only thing I can say is that they kind of just heard about Pluton and left, right? So I'm like, all right, well, if Pluton is known by Caribou, somebody is going to come to Wano and try to take Pluton. Whether it's Blackbeard, whether it's Buggy, whoever it is that Caribou's going to talk to, Wano's going to get invaded. And that would be the time where Yamato can probably be reintroduced into the story, where Luffy probably has to go back to Wano, and that's when they'll open their borders, whatever it is. But still, even if we are going to go back and address a lot of these other points of Wano, just right now in the moment, hearing that Yamato decided I'm not going to join the crew after the last 3 chapters of it being so obvious that Yamato is going to join the crew, it just did not hit well for a lot of people. A lot of people were like, Oda, stop jerking me around already. Like, it's not funny anymore.
I'll say this. The Yamato thing, I kind of feel indifferent, somewhat annoyed, you know? I think that's how I'm feeling. A little bit annoyed, like, okay, what's actually going on here? But I think this is kind of good that Yamato didn't join. It is, as much as what I wanted her to join for was because I wanted her to bolster the Straw Hats. Where it's like the Straw Hats are walking around with people like Yamato, Zoro, Sanji, Jinbei under Luffy. Where it's like nobody's messing with that crew. Yamato not joining, it does take away a bit from the experience with Yamato. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost as if we went somewhere, right? And this person comes along for the journey, for the ride. We are experiencing this person in different ways. Like, dang. And this person's like, oh, I'm going to come with y'all. I'm rocking with y'all at the end. And it's all of a sudden like, no. But then we even get backstory. We get connections with Ace. It's like, she said she wants to be more like Odin. That she has the logbook. She wants to like travel, right? She wants to see the world. And like now you have the Straw Hats you have a connection with. You're like, no, I'm going to stay back in Tor Wano. And somebody even said, yo, what are you going to see? Like all the factories your dad built? Like what's
painful memories.
Isn't gonna go visit a
isn't your trauma based in Wano? Why would you want to stay?
Why would you want to stay? You've been shackled here for so long.
20 years.
Here's the thing. I think her shackles are no longer to Wano, it's to Odin. Right?
Yeah.
Where
she
doesn't even understand or realize how much she's holding herself back by wanting to be him so badly.
Yeah.
You know, it's like her thing is like, I want to stay back because Odin toured Wano before he left. Homie, you're not Odin.
You're not Odin, bro. I promise you. The gag has to die. I mean, I don't.
And
Sai, how do you feel about the gag? I'm actually very curious about how people feel about Yamato's.
The Odin gag, like, I don't really care. Like, I kind of ignore it now at this point. But it's just so weird because like you said, she wants to tour Wano, but what does that even mean? Like, Odin only toured Wano because he had no choice. Like, he didn't have a pirate ship. Yeah, the minute somebody came around with a pirate ship, he bounced. He hopped on with Whitebeard. Like, what is Yamato waiting for? Does she, like you said, she wants to go visit the Smile Factories, you know, laugh at the citizens of Ibisu Town.
You know what's going to happen?
Like, I don't know.
You know what Yamato's going to do? Yamato's going to collect all the information that we didn't get in Wano. And she's just gonna info dump when she gets to the ship. Yeah, Zoro.
She's gonna visit Ryuma's grave.
Ryuma, Zoro. Nami. Usopp, Elbaf. It's gonna be
Usopp,
all this shit. It's gonna be all this stuff that Yamato's gonna do when she come back, and she'll be like, "Yo, what the hell? What is she talking about?" And it sucks. It sucks because I feel like there was a lot of potential for Yamato as a character. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I thought that she could have been one of those characters that like had kind of a similar character arc to Momonosuke. Because if she had just grown up to the point, because even in the chapter, they're saying Luffy called her Yamato as opposed to the or Yamabro, whatever he used to call her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I thought that was coming. And I don't know. I feel like this entire chapter is kind of subverting expectations where Oda, for a lot of things in this chapter, was not like we expected, which could have been the intention. But, you know, we say this all the time. Just because something is intended doesn't make it good. Right?
Exactly.
And yeah. But I like what you said where, like, if Yamato were to join the crew, like, the dynamics would change so much. Like, people would look at the Straw Hats and they're like, yo, that's Kaido's, like, son or daughter over there. Like, how the hell did he do this?
What's going to happen, we're going to have so much different shit, right? Like, for instance, it's going to be Yamato's they're going to see Yamato's bounty before she sees it. It's going to be all this different shit that they're going to see about Yamato. And then once she finally comes to join the crew, there's going to be a time where she has to save them or do something. And, you know, it's cool. I get it. But it just feels like Oda was kind of fucking around. And he's kind of like, ha, I gotcha. And,
got y'all again. I'm just like, get out of here, bro.
Listen,
like,
I like when Oda surprises me. Like, I genuinely do like it when I can't predict what's going to happen. But I feel like with obvious things, it's almost like, Jay, the shit you talk about with Luffy meeting Shanks again, right? He did it this arc where Shanks pulls up to Wano, right? And then
right?
and
then leaves. And then Luffy's like, "Oh, I know who that is." How does Luffy know who Shanks is hockey? He couldn't even sense hockey.
What was the purpose of this? Why? And then they think, oh, film red. Then the reports are coming out. Well, they were trying to line it up a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh Lord.
You know,
I'm just like, man, this is not.
it changes things. It changes things a little bit. So I don't know. I'm kind of just like, it is what it is. She's gonna join the crew at some point, right? It's gonna happen.
I feel like she will. I feel like a big deciding moment too would be next chapter. Like if they get all the Straw Hat bounties, if they're like, yo, check it out, Yamato has one too. I feel like that out fuel to the fire that Yamato might actually come back.
It's just so tough because you know what this also opens the door for, right?
What?
Somebody may be hiding in the ship.
Oh, no, Lord, please,
no,
God,
stop,
no, God, I'll do anything. I'll do anything, Lord,
So,
just not
listen,
her.
the thing is, we all know that's gonna happen.
I'm so scared of it. Because you know what people are already saying? They say, oh, yeah, if you look closely, you can already see Carrot on this ship. Like, people are really searching to see Carrot.
Listen, bro, we all know it's Carrot season, okay? It's Carrot season.
Stop, bro. Don't say
Listen,
that.
I might even put that in my Twitter bio, bro. It's Carrot
It's
season.
Carrot season.
I'm about to tweet that shit right now, bro. It's Carrot season. Listen, it's just, remember she didn't give a response to being the Minx ruler or whatever.
She did not, and it does make sense for her to run away instead.
Run away
from
again.
Responsibility, and then
Right.
Wanda, who should be the leader.
She's gonna lead right now.
You
Right?
know?
And
It
so,
should be Wanda.
It should be. It should be Wanda. But, you know, Carrot, her connection, whatever. It is what it is. But I think that's what's going to happen. I think Carrot is going to pop back up on the ship and gonna be like, and Luffy going to be like, oh, Carrot.
The 10th Nakama.
And I'm just like, nigga, you sense Shanks' hockey. You can't sense Carrot. But I know they're like, well, the Minx can hide their presence.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? we saw that in Zoe. So it's just like, it's all there, and this is a way for Oda to kind of say, okay, you thought Carrot was going to join, then you didn't think she was going to join, you thought it was definitely Yamato. Now it's not Yamato, it's actually Carrot again. Because wasn't Carrot more popular than Yamato? I don't remember.
Yes, Carrot
She was, right?
Yeah,
like
at one point, yeah.
6, wasn't
She was really high.
Yeah, really, really high. I actually made a video about it.
Obnoxiously high.
Yeah, I was really upset about it.
I don't know how she was so popular.
Furry tax.
Furries. That's all I could think of. Is just because the furry stuff. But I think I'm kind of just like, it is what it is. Let's go. Let's go to the next town, next island, whatever. Let's go with it, because it's just, bro, what you gonna do? I mean, people are pissed, but like, hey man, it kind of just is what it is at this point. Okay, so Yamato says she's not going. Kinemon is kind of like, bro, you sure? Like, are you? You've been talking about leaving since I met you. You sure you don't want to go? Yeah. And she's like, am I not welcome? You're like, bitch, that's not what I'm saying. It's kind of like, you've been talking about it, right? You just said you made your mind up. She's like, oh, that? Well, Odin, he started his journey with the tour of Wano, right? And I realized there's so much out there that I don't understand. And my thing is just like, you really think there's more in Wano you can learn as opposed to the actual world, right? Even with Green Bull, you didn't even understand what that meant, what this person was. And again, like Sai said, for Odin, he just couldn't leave. As soon as the ship came, this nigga he hung on for dear life the entire time.
For a week.
How long was it?
I think it was a week. Wasn't it a week?
I think it was a week or 3 days.
It was
or something.
insane. Bro, that's how bad he wanted to leave Wano. You don't want to leave Wano. You don't want to leave Wano.
You don't.
Because there's no way. There's no way. And then she's saying, I'll find my way if I follow in his footsteps. I'm bound to make it out to sea sooner or later.
What does that mean?
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
It seems like she cares more about being Odin than actually doing what she wants to actually do. So it's like she wants to go out to sea. She's like, well, but I'm Odin, right? So what are you, Yamato? You gotta grow out of this. It's just, it's not healthy. It's too much.
No.
I feel like that's what you were hoping for.
Yes.
When you said that you think Carrot could, not Carrot, Jesus.
Oh,
Lord,
don't do
my
this.
head. Where you were saying that you think Yamato could have been actually a really, really good and deep character if Oda
sure.
actually addressed the Odin thing. And I think a lot of us were hoping that for Yamato. And when it wasn't addressed, that's when, I don't know, it just...
But here's the tough part as well. a part of it could have been addressed with her backstory.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we saw some of it with her and Kaido, but then even the dynamic of her and Kaido is still a bit fuzzy, right? Like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like Oda's leaving things out but what would even be the point of touching on Kaido and Yamato's relationship again, like outside of Wano?
Yeah.
What would even be the purpose of that? So it's just, like I said, it's a lot of things where people are going to be like, well, if you don't like it, go make your own story, right?
Yep.
You know, people are going to say that. You know, that's going to be a popular thing. But a lot of people are not happy with Yamato or how Oda kind of faked out the community. And like I said, I'm kind of indifferent. I can see both sides. I think it's best that she didn't join. The Straw Hats already, they were like fighting for panel time. And if you add another character, remember Jinbei just got added. So now adding Yamato on top of that, 2 new characters in the Straw Hats, that would be a lot to juggle. But
he would get overshadowed.
It's like Robin would just be in the background every single chapter, just reading a book. Every single chapter. But here's the thing, though. Oda added Jinbei, and even if he added Yamato, there's no more Law, right? Because Law is out of the picture, which I'm sad about. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of reeling a little bit. I'm like, damn, no Law. We had Law since shit.
Oh, wow. That's true.
Punk Hazard.
Like 9 years.
Right? We've had Law has been
like a straw hat to
you
me,
feel
I
like a
ain't
straw hat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was low-key hoping for his entire crew to get wiped out so he had nowhere else to go. So he'd have to join the straw hats. I mean, come on. His crew is like crumb bums. Like, they're just, when he said, right, in the chapter, he said, yo, if we pull up to shoot, like, should shoot to kill. I'm like, Law, who else is going, who else is hurting anyone in this?
You talking about Gene Bart, bro? Like, is that what we got?
Gene Bart?
God, bro.
Gene Bart and Beppo, watch out.
That wouldn't even go too long, bro.
Penguin?
Like, come on.
Listen, I'm so over Law's crew. But either way, we at the point where Yamato's telling Kinemon and Momonosuke about, you know, she's going to follow in Oda's footsteps. She's bound to make it out to sea sooner or later. Wink, wink, hint, hint. Right? Then Momonosuke, now he's mad, right? Because he's like, all right, so Luffy said bye to everybody except me and you, bro. What's going on with this dude? Then we go into Toei flashback, all the things with Momonosuke and Luffy, and it's kind of like, again, I feel like for people that consume the story, that just read the chapters, whatever, watch the story, this might hit more for them, but for us, we go back and read shit all the time.
All the time.
Right? Yeah. And so these flashbacks, they all feel so recent. It's just like, okay, I understand Luffy and Momonosuke's relationship, but Oda's just trying to drive the point home that they are super close and that he's somewhat hyping up this send-off even more than the Yamato send-off, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right? So now Momonosuke, he's going after Luffy because they said that he's being rude to not say anything, and Kinemon, I don't know what Kinemon was talking about. He said he's going to smite down.
I'm about to say, Kinemon, this man just beat Kaido. Kaido was just beating on y'all for how many years?
Didn't you just say, Luffy, can you carry the
cut him
back
apart.
Can you carry Wano on your shoulders?
Wano on your shoulders.
You just said that.
Kinemon's been doing shoulders in the gym, I guess. I think
Like,
that might be what it
okay.
is.
I'm like, okay. And even Yamato, bro, the funniest part is Yamato saying, I think you're blowing this out of proportion. I'm like, Yamato
Just a
saying
little
that.
bit.
Yamato saying that is wild because she, you know, her and the Odin thing, right?
Yeah.
So then we get to the port, Tokage port. Law's talking his smack, saying, yo, if we meet as enemies, don't whine to me for shooting to kill. Luffy's like, gotcha. Like, that's cool.
He don't even care. He don't even care.
Like, cool. But it's kind of the side eye, like, yeah, whatever, bro. Whatever, my guy, right?
You got it.
Whatever, Nakama. And Law's face is so fucking annoyed because he knows like no matter what he says, it does not matter to Luffy. Luffy's still probably gonna hug him, or Chopper's gonna go on his head or some shit when they see each other again, right? But now we have it. They're all about to set sail. Momonosuke pulls up, right? And again, it's the send off that we've been waiting for. And I don't know, how did you guys feel? How did you guys feel about this entire sequence? Because it goes from them going at Luffy because he's about to do that, and then he's crying about leaving and all the different. How do y'all feel about all of it?
I think it's really nice. I like the fact that Momonosuke was crying and all that stuff. It was pretty emotional. But the send off itself, like once Luffy declares that he's leaving, it's like it's not. I thought it was gonna be more impactful.
Yeah.
And if you remember that Oda said, "Hey, I've been looking forward to drawing the last scenes of Wano," I'm like, I didn't see it this chapter. I did not see any scene this chapter that would be the panel that Oda wanted to draw.
Yeah, I didn't see it unless it's the fin at the end. I don't know.
Just the fin.
Could be the fin. He's just glad it's done, dude. He's like, oh man, this took like 4 years.
Like, oh,
Damn.
fuck, I can't wait to end this.
Finally.
Shit. Jay, what you think about it?
I'm just glad it's not a kabuki play, man.
You glad ain't 2 more acts left?
People was talking
2 more
about
acts.
After Kaido was defeated, they're talking about wait, there's still Act 4 and there's still Act 5. I'm
Bro,
like, come on,
I've
man.
been telling niggas, give it up.
Give it up, please.
It's not happening.
Give it up. It's just, it's one of those things, right? Where people create the theory and it's like, oh, it's based off a kabuki play. It's definitely going to be 5 acts. Where for Oda, he pulls from shit all the time, right? He's pulling from different things. It's never a one-to-one thing, right? It's like what was it, Edward Newgate or, you know, Marshall D. Teach. It's always like a bunch of characters mixed up into one. It's all these different things. And so when, I think after we got to Onigashima, or at the end Onigashima was still in, I was like, bro, it's just, we're not having any more acts. Unless the epilogue is like Act 4 or whatever. But like, it wouldn't make sense because this said Kabuki's like 5 acts. I'm just like, bro, it just is what it is, right? And maybe he did have a plan for 5 acts. Then he's like, you know what? If I do 5 acts, this shit might go 6 years. Because there's a lot of things that we're thinking about that Oda just kind of dropped. People talking about Zoro Ryuma, the sword shit. They're talking about just even fleshing out Yamato, Kaido's backstory. You know, it just feels like a lot of things. Even the Hawkins, the 1% guy, it kind of feels like
Hawkins,
I think he forgot about that shit, honestly.
It's like,
he forgot about that until the last
1%
minute.
guy was me. Okay, bro.
trash. Oh my god.
Okay, bro. It's like, what? That's not what the anime said. Well, maybe he had, and then honestly, like at this point, you think of people like X Drake, bro. Why were you here? It's just,
He was useless.
So, but where even is he? So I mean, I understand sword and all the different stuff, and a lot of things can somewhat be scrutinized because we had such a long arc, and we still feel like enough wasn't covered, which is the crazy part. Wano is the longest arc in One Piece by far, and it still feels like a lot of meat was left on the bone, but we got a bunch of sides we didn't want, right? Like we got
Like coleslaw.
We got coleslaw. We got goddamn coleslaw, and we got too many smile users, right? We got all this fluff, and as much as I like Tama, and I enjoyed her story, she really became a plot device at the end. That kind of took away from it, took away from the fight. And then again, Wano is, I would say, is full of so many highs, right? So many moments that I was losing my mind to, but in a lot of moments where I was scratching my head. But I came into Wano with high expectations. You see what I'm saying? And of course, now it's proven that the Marineford looking cute thing, that's for the final saga. But they were hyping up Wano just in its entirety before that, while we were in Whole Cake. So coming into it, I'm like, okay, they all the build up to Wano. We're here in Wano. It's swordsman. Let's get it. I say this, then I'll let you guys go. I don't think Wano lived up to the hype. I don't. I think it's a good arc, but I don't think it lived up to what we expected.
It's like you said, there's a lot of high moments, but at the same time, like, it just didn't cover enough.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the land of samurai. Remember, Akainu was like, "Yo, like those samurai, like we gotta watch out. It's an unknown force." And then we come to Wano, the samurai are all fodder.
Yeah.
Like there's not a single samurai that stands out, minus the scabbards. Yeah. And that's even kind of iffy too.
Yeah.
Like it's so interesting because this is the land where like swordsmanship originated. This was based off of Oda's country, so he was hyping it up too.
The greatest the elephant in the room, right? Yeah. Let's not even talk about Zunisha coming and saying, "Y'all don't need me." Cool. All right, I'm out.
All right, bet.
She pulled the Shanks.
Not even just Shanks. Mihawk.
Yeah. No mention of Mihawk.
No mention of Mihawk the entire arc.
Very, very shocking.
Not even by the swordsmith who knows all about
Bro,
supreme
I just
blades
don't
and everything. Like, bro.
Nothing about Mihawk.
I don't get it, bro.
And so, you know, it's you kind of look at it like, all right, well, he's the greatest swordsman. Doesn't mean he has to go to Wano. Well, it kind of does mean that.
He must have traveled here. Like, come on.
If he's looking for swordsmen to fight, you don't go to the land of the swordsman?
Yeah, like, come on, man.
Listen, again, I don't want this to feel like an attack on Wano, right? Because it's not. I think it's just, we're at the end now, right?
It's valid critiques.
Yeah, we're at the end now, and so I think it's right to feel a bit frustrated that it didn't accomplish a lot of the things. And again, even a lot of times the arc can be carried by its antagonist, right? Where it's just like, that's what you think about an arc. For a lot of times when I think about an arc, like I go back and think about it, I think about the antagonist as well.
Yes.
Like I think of Thriller Bark, I think of Water 7, I think of Baratier. The antagonist pops in my head, Marineford, because it's partially on them to kind of carry the arc. For a long time, I thought Kaido was going to be top one antagonist in One Piece. Easy.
Oh my God, same.
I thought it would be easy, right? Because Kaido was spitting. Like a lot of things I was like, dang, Kaido got bars.
The world's strongest creature.
Right?
One-liners, man.
The one-liners were insane. I'm like,
What kind of king did you say you were?
What kind of king
Punk?
you said you were?
I'm like, okay,
What?
Kaido got nasty.
Right?
Okay.
Monkey D, Gomu Gomu what? Right? Yo, I should have taken your head and threw it down there so they would believe me, right? It was like, okay.
What I like the most is that suffering from success face he made when he dropped Luffy into the water, bro. Like, my boy was like, hurt, like,
He's like,
another fraud.
Another one, right? And then, but here's the thing. We still didn't know who he was.
Nope.
Right? Like I told people, like,
No.
strength in a character is kind of like a pretty chick. All right, I'm intrigued, right? I'm intrigued now. You're pretty, now I'm intrigued. But not after I'm intrigued, I want to know more about you. And for Kaido, it was like, he was strong as hell. Cool. Now tell me something. Why did you choose Wano?
But why?
Right? Why Wano? Because even he was hinting towards Yamato, saying specific things about Yamato. You're ignorant. You don't know anything. There's a reason why we did this. Da 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 da. Okay, Kaido, what's the reason why you chose Wano? Is it just because the old hags say here's an opportunity? That's the only reason?
That's the only reason.
There's nothing with your history, nothing with rocks, nothing with God Valley, nothing with Big Mom and the Devil Fruit, nothing with you being an Oni. It's just specifically because the old chick told you, where we might find out more about it when we get some rock stuff with Kaido.
Right.
But then it's like, bro, we could have, why not here?
That's what I really get frustrated with when people mention, you can probably get the rest of Kaido's backstory from rocks. I'm like, I don't think you don't need to do that, though. And I'm not going to act like I know better than Oda, because I know that's what people are going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, watch your own story. But let's be real here. You could have given us a small semblance of his backstory and then saved the rest for rocks, but you just gave us a slideshow of a backstory, right? And I'm thinking to myself, like, it didn't really tell us anything. Besides, a little.
I was a small nigga. I was a medium nigga. Now I'm a big nigga.
And everyone's laughing about it, maybe, but they're laughing because it's right. Because it's true.
We're laughing through the tears.
Yes, through the pain. And, the sad thing is, I lost hope, I'll be honest, with Wano, because Kaido was the one thing I was really, really into in Wano. Like, everything Kaido was doing, I
loved it.
One of the best chapters of the arc is when Kaido, after he beat Luffy the second time, he came down and started, like, that's when he the fake out with Kinemon happened. Yeah. All of that was so good, and I was like, Oda, okay.
Yeah, the Kinemon death, like,
oh my goodness,
it was.
Oh, he should have.
That was masterful by Kaido. You know what I mean? Like,
it
he's
was so
like,
good. I'm like,
it was great. It
Yeah.
was great, and so I think it comes down to that, where antagonists, we look at them like, how competent are you? How much, and your purpose, the impact that you made. And I think for Kaido, the competence was never in question, but it's just like, when you think about it, I guess if we say Blue Scarf is dead, that's a body that he got. Yeah. But as far as the scabbards, no one died to Kaido. It was just, it kind of felt like time and time again, the plot was more important than the characters. And I think that's kind of where Wano went wrong, where for any story, I mean, I think that's where you care about the most is the characters. And like a lot of times it's like you can feel like, okay, the plot is more important here. So this has to happen. And I think that's the unfortunate thing with Kaido. Kaido kind of suffered with that as well. And of course, I think the person who suffered the most, or the group that suffered the most through the plot and whatever has to happen, was the Big Mom Pirates.
By far.
Oh,
by
yeah.
far.
Dude, where are they?
Them, bro?
What happened to Smoothie, second commander right there?
It's just like, bro, when the Big Mom Pirates showed up, the hype around the community was crazy because we're like, okay, they get to prove themselves, because they brought back a lot of the people that didn't get to prove themselves, right?
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, now they're here, they get to prove their worth. And if you told me at that time when we saw the Big Mom Pirates that they would not make it up the waterfall, I'd be like, shut up.
Shut up. Like, no way.
The entire
no
raid. The entire raid, they did not make it up. They didn't even rescue Big Mom from falling off the cliff.
The thing is, though, like, the crazy part is that Pedro Sparrow left them and said, I'm out. I'm about to
that's it, bro. Like, and they didn't follow him, bro.
And they didn't, no one followed. No one followed. Even the people that
like,
could
I'm
fly.
not one of you fodder.
You know what, bro? I think I know what's about to happen.
What's that?
I think what's about to happen is when the Straw Hats come down the waterfall, they're gonna run into the Big Mom.
No way.
Yes,
no
they are.
way.
They're going
Oh
to.
my
I
gosh.
know it.
Yo,
I know
have you
it.
seen
it's
my
gonna
mom?
happen, bro. No, we haven't seen Big Mom either.
No,
If Big
no
Mom
Big
is
Mom,
down
no
there,
Kaido.
bro, I will be so upset, son. Yo.
They're gonna be like, Luffy, have you seen our mom? It's like, wait, what?
Seen our mom.
Nah. Kid gonna be like, yeah, that bitch at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, we put her down there. Your mom's dead. That's it.
Your mom's dead. Now what? I want smoke. I want all the smoke. But nah, hopefully they rescued her and they're already on their way to Whole Cake Island. That's the only thing that makes sense here. Because people are saying Big Mom and Kaido, they're chilling down there with Pluton right now. I'm like, bro. Like, they're like, now you got to beat Big Mom and Kaido to get Pluton? No, I don't.
Cut it out. I'm about to say cut it out.
You know how crazy that is? You know how crazy that is? Nah, I think they both left. Wherever it is, we'll get some explanation at some point. Maybe in the story, may not. But yeah, the Straw Hats, Kid Pirates, and the Heart Pirates, they all jump off the waterfall because Luffy's like, nah, you're not going to call me no bitch. Right? And I feel it, right? So then we get to the last part of the chapter. And I think
The best part of the chapter,
I would say the best part, and the most controversial, even more than the Yamato thing, which is crazy, right? You would think Yamato not joining the Straw Hats would be the most controversial thing in the chapter. No. We got something even crazier in this chapter. So, homie that was giving the speech at the beginning, he's still giving it at the end, hyping it up, right? And he talks about Hiyori and Orochi and Denjiro and everything that transpired while Orochi was burning. So while Orochi was burning, Orochi says, the Kurozumi family's grudge shall continue to curse this rotten land, generation after generation, for all eternity. And they basically confirmed that Orochi died because the last head was cut off, which is, it's wonky for me. You know, I'm not sure how you guys feel about Orochi's death. But it was just like, it kind of feels like a lot of things were just still there to be, lessons were there to be learned, I thought.
Yeah.
Right? But, all right, they said in a moment, Hiyori refused to flinch or shudder, right? She held her gaze. The country's 20 years worth of torturous memories fueled her heart. And basically, she says, the Kurozumi were born to burn as Orochi was dying. And again, people were saying this is a play or a pun on what Odin said. Odin was born to boil, right? But why it feels weird and it feels nasty is because when you say the Kurozumi were born to burn, right? And Kurozumi apparently means, or Kuro, whatever, means charcoal.
Charcoal,
right?
yeah.
When you say that, like, I understand what you mean, but imagine being a citizen taking this in. Some people are taking it literal.
Oh, absolutely.
They're cheering it on.
They're like, yeah, they are. I'm just like,
Woo,
all right,
kill them.
Now, have you heard that it's possibly a bad translation?
I've
Yes.
heard that.
And
I've
they're
heard
saying
that.
it's possibly Orochi instead of Kurozumi that was like born to burn or something like that.
The thing is, people are looking. Somebody broke down the actual kanji or whatever it was, and apparently it's Kuro something. So the name Orochi wasn't there, right? So they're saying it's because of Japanese words. It doesn't necessarily mean all the Kurozumi were born to burn. They're just saying because Odin and food is born to boil, Kurozomi and charcoal was born to be burnt, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like a representation of what happened to Orochi at that time.
Right.
Right? So I get it, right? But I'm not sure if everybody, even the people that are in Wano, are going to take it that way.
Yeah, no, they're gonna want to kill all the Kurozumi at this point. Like they're gonna hold that grudge. Like, oh, you're from that family? Like, dang, we gotta kill your ass then. I don't know. It's weird because I really feel like if she were to say this, it's more or less fine. But if the teacher or whoever is telling all this, if he comes out afterwards and he says, by the way, we kind of caused this to happen because we persecuted them in the first place, then it's kind of fine.
Yeah.
But the fact that they never touched on their... Yeah, they never touched on it. They were just like, oh yeah, by the way, all the Kurozumi were kind of bad.
Yeah, and then, because in the chapter, the guy says, we all know their name means charcoal. So all together now.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, okay. And I guess they're talking specifically about Orochi, but he said their name means charcoal. Them, multiple.
Yeah.
And again, if I'm just a citizen, a bystander, and you're telling me the Kurozumi are trash and they deserve to burn, I'm going to try to burn every Kurozumi I come across.
Yeah.
And the people of Wano, they're known to burn people. They were trying to burn young Inu, young Neku, Kawamatsu.
Oh my God, they were. Wow. I did not think about that, but they really were. That's crazy.
That's what they're into. So here's the thing, right? They're into that shit. Here's a silver lining. Oda could be setting this up for growth for Hiyori, where she grows out of this. But for me, in my opinion, I think the damage is done.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think you could have made an example out of Orochi without killing him and saying, "What we should kill you. You deserve to be burned." Right?
Yeah.
But we cannot overlook all the shit that happened in the past. The Kurozumi, the Kozuki, we've been warring for so long. And I'm sure if you were in power, you did what you had to do to survive.
Exactly.
Let's stop this cycle right here. Right? Let's end this cycle of just, we're going to do to you what you do to us. And again, in that moment, this is right after everything is going on. I can understand it being in the moment, Hiyori just saying things because it's 20 years, right? Mom dead, dad dead. Everything that she went through under Orochi. I understand the hurt and the pain, but I think there's a level of responsibility that comes with you and your influence that you have. And so I'm not sure if this is going to be a thing in the future with her and Momonosuke having completely different ideologies. Because Momonosuke seems like he's trying to bring people together, genuinely.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But for Hiyori, that pain is still there. They said the 20 years of torturous memories fueled her heart. That's hate.
Yeah, she genuinely hates Orochi with everything she has. And I mean, I understand that, right? And I think...
But then say Orochi was born to burn.
Yeah, and that's what we're hoping. That's really what it is. We'll see what the Viz does.
We'll see. We'll see. Because this is problematic.
Like... These are the things about One Piece that I really enjoy because Oda does address these little character issues in society. With Fishman Island, there's droves of it, right? So, like, you would think Orochi's sad backstory about how he was hunted as a child. Like, think about what Orochi went through. He watched his entire family be hunted and killed for something he didn't even do. To the point where he's like, I mean, imagine going through that. And then you have eternal hatred like he has, and he just re-inflicts it upon you guys. Sadly, I don't want to go like down a Thanos route, but in Orochi's mind, he did nothing wrong, and he's completely justified.
And
for
Orochi
what
in a lot of people's minds, because let me ask you guys, I don't remember this. Did Sukiyaki know Orochi was a Kurozumi?
That's a good question. I am not.
I
sure.
don't remember if he knew.
Because if he knew, he would say something about it, right? You feel like he would have some kind of. Like
I literally don't remember
speech.
if he knew that. If Orochi was a Kurozumi. Because I know Orochi, he was kind of. I would hide my last name. I won't tell you guys I'm a Kurozumi.
Especially a Kazuki. Yeah.
I really don't remember. I should probably ask Twitter.
That's a good question to ask, actually. But if he did know, I mean, that makes it worse. Because then he's
liable for this, man.
It's like, bro, like you should have known, like, you know the history. So
Yeah, because at that point, if he did know, that does make it worse. That does make it so much worse. Oh God. It's like,
so much. We pray he didn't know at this point, like, because my only issue with it is, and I know some people are going to try and defend it, but it's tasteless because it just you're setting up yourself for a whole other Orochi to appear, and you know like Brago said. You know, in his live reaction, I'm not gonna. Well, he was saying slinging nut. Whatever it is.
He was. There's no way. Shogun.
There's no way he doesn't have a daughter or some offspring somewhere. Especially as the Shogun, you would kind of want to extend your line.
Yes.
And then seeing that Kanjuro, who's another Kurozumi, came out of nowhere. What's to say there isn't like one chilling there right now? There isn't a sleeper cell or something, right? So for me, it's like you're starting the cycle again, and it really is. I was hoping for Momo in particular that he would be the one to end the cycle because he's been put in a position that Orochi was in. So he would understand Orochi's childhood really well, and be like, Orochi, I'm not going to kill you, but I'm going to imprison you, and you're never going to see the light of day.
You have to. I think you have to earn. You have to earn and show the people. It's up to you now, right? Because I'm not sure if Orochi could ever change. But if, like, there were theories that Tama could be a Kurozomi, where it's like showing people that it's not about your name necessarily, right? It's about you as a person. Where that, in a way, could have been, you can argue next to Black Blades, as Jay would say, is the theme of Wano, right? because when you think of Yamato, right, and who she is and her dad being Kaido, that's not who she is, right? Even Zoro and his lineage, and we think about just people and judging them based off of what you think they are. It's like that could have been a route that Oda went down, but it's just like, no, it's just fuck the Kurozumi forever at the end of the day. And bro, there is no way there aren't more Kurozumi walking around, right?
This definitely feels like something we're gonna have to come back to later. Like I don't want Wano to have like an Act 4 or 5, but we kind of need to address this at some point. If the Viz comes out and it's actually all the Kurozumi needs to burn, and that's why I kind of like the Tama being a Kurozumi theory being true, because it's like, wait, are we gonna come back and Hiyori's like burning Tama at the stake? Like, yo, you need to burn.
Fucking wild that would be. That would be next level writing. I'm not gonna lie.
That would be crazy.
It'd be like, yo, Hiyori turned out worse than Orochi. Yo, that's crazy. But I think what's gonna happen is, again, either spinoff, right? Either spinoff, but it's just gonna be a cycle. But this is what made me think about, y'all. It made me think about the end of One Piece, right? Because the end of One Piece that we all have in our minds is a reformed Marines, right?
Yeah.
Or like, it is the Marines that I would say are the good Marines now. They care about the people. They're trying to do things for the people. Now I'm thinking we could just have it where the Celestial Dragons are gone, but people like Akainu is still in power. Then it's kind of like, yo, like, all right, the big bad evil is gone, but bullshit is still going to be around.
Oh yeah.
Where it's not the happy ending that we all expected. And I think that's kind of what this chapter was. It was nothing is like you expected. Yamato didn't join, right? Hiyori didn't come and say, yo, Orochi, let's hold hands. Let's try to figure it out. No, she's like, fuck you. That's kind of like what Oda was sending the message here, saying like, shit just not gonna go the way you expect it to. Sorry. You know, so it's for the end of One Piece. I'm not sure how you guys feel about that. Do you guys think this has any indication or like for the end at this point?
I feel like we're going to have to address this at some point. Like the Akainu thing, like I love Akainu, but I don't think he's going to be in power at the end of the story.
I think he's going to get there.
I feel like the Sword Initiative might take over. Aokiji, who was the man that Sengoku wanted to be the fleet admiral, might come back into play.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah. I don't know. It's rough because like we can't really end the story with this, right?
I don't know. Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing with Hiyori, right? At what point are we gonna go back? Unless we go back to Wano at some point and follow around Hiyori saying things, Momonosuke correcting her. But that feels so odd, like just weird, right? Just going back to Wano for this. It's just a weird transition. Unless I don't know how you address this other than in a story or an SBS where it's like, Oda, you said all the Kurozomi should burn. What did Hiyori mean by that? Right? And he's like, oh, she doesn't hate all the Kurozomi. She just hates Orochi.
Only some of them.
Just Orochi and the ones that want to do bad things. It's like, okay, what about the people of Wano that think she hates all the Kurozomi? Right? Whereas when people are like, oh, it's just a pun. It's just a clever pun. It's Japanese. You guys don't understand. I get that. But, like, you got to make it make sense. Based on what she's saying and everything they went through, why would they not hate the Kurozomi? Yeah. They have every right to. And she's not doing anything to curb that. And it's like, I guess at this point it kind of is what it is, because a lot more people are just happy that Wano is over. We didn't even address like the best part of the chapter. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, we're saving it for last.
Yonko Luffy, all right?
Go.
Yonko Luffy giving his flag to Momonosuke, right? And so he thinks of him like a little brother, and that was hard to me because. When we think of brothers and Luffy, it's just like, you think of Sabo, you think of Ace. It's like for Luffy to say something like that, it's like,
he's grown,
damn,
man.
It's big.
He's a grown man now.
He's a grown man. You think of a Whitebeard. Whitebeard looked at Odin like a brother.
Yeah.
Right? And it's so crazy where Luffy's kind of like, yo, that'll let him know if you mess with me, you mess with us. And it makes me think of Whitebeard and Odin because like everything that happened to Odin, Whitebeard was kind of like, can't really
can't help out.
Do anything right now, brother.
It's his country.
Yeah, sorry. Which it does make you look at that a little weird because Luffy's like, bro, I don't care. Like anybody mess with you, to mess with us. But it is what it is. We talk about it another time. But this is Luffy really stepping into that Yonko sphere, saying, and that Straw Hat flag, it carries a lot of weight. You know what I'm saying? Like you mess with like one of those guys. The Straw Hats coming after you. And the Straw Hats, they were responsible for taking down both Big Mom and Kaido. But what I wonder about is a respect thing. How do you guys feel about respect? And do you guys think the other Yonko respect Luffy or just even the Marines respect Luffy the way that he should be respected right now?
I think Green Bull didn't, which is surprising. If you learn someone just beat Kaido, the first thing to think of is, hey, let me go fight him. Let me go.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna show up with Kaido's there.
It's weird logic. Weird logic.
Did not make sense. I mean, I liked Green Bull being there, but like, I think Luffy, now that he's gonna be healed up, I think maybe Green Bull just thought he was weakened from the Kaido fight. So I can see why he would assume that he can actually do something about it. But after this, it's done. I don't think anyone's really gonna mess with Luffy outside of other Yonko from this point on, unless they're just stupid. So I think it's going to take some time.
And even
he has to prove himself.
Yeah, I mean,
it's weird as hell to say that, but I think it has to be a situation where, I don't know if a Marine has to get taken out in short order, or but Green Bull clearly didn't respect him, which is odd. Like, it's some weird shit to me. It's just weird.
I feel like now that he officially has the title of Yonko, I feel like people have to respect him. I like to think that Green Bull was like a rogue agent. Yeah. Like, he's the one person that just did not believe Luffy could do it. But, I mean, even before this, like, I mean, Luffy had the namesake, right? Like, he took down multiple warlords, his dragon son, Garp's grandson. Like, you'd be an idiot to fight Luffy right now.
Yeah.
Like, especially now that he's known to take down Kaido and Big Mom, it's like, why would you even run his way? There's no point.
Yeah, it's like, why even test that? Just don't do it. Just, like, leave Luffy alone.
Like, the only people that could actually come to Wano and pose a threat is probably, like you said, like another Yonko, like a Blackbeard, somebody trying to get the ancient weapons or like the road poneglyph.
But now, like with Wano, for like, what does Green Bull go back and tell Akainu? Like,
he had a stomachache.
Yeah,
I got a migraine.
It's kind of like Akainu's like, yo, don't go in there because of the samurai, right? Green Bull didn't leave because of the samurai. He left because of Shanks. So, like, can he even say anything? He said, like, well, man. Or does he lie? And he says, like, the samurai, yeah. You were right.
He said, "Oh boy, I ain't a real samurai." Whew.
You were right.
I severely injured Luffy.
If I see him again, I'll finish the job. You know.
He got away. He ran away.
Either way, man, this is the final chapter, Wano. I plan on having like a full Wano retrospective stream at some point.
Yeah.
Just going through specific things and how it stacks up, because I really don't know where Wano is for me at this point. I know it's in my top 10. I'm having a hard time comfortably putting it in my top 5. Because it's one of the hard ones to rank, just because the highs and the lows. And, you know, I expected a bit more for the epilogue, I'm not going to lie. But this is kind of the end of the longest arc in One Piece. Do you guys have any like premature ratings for it?
I kind of gave it a 9 out of 10 like after reading this chapter, but really thinking about Wano as a whole, I'd probably bring it down to like a 7.5. Like, I think the high points are super high, but just there was so many gaps in between those mountains that just weren't filled, in my opinion. And there's characters that just literally didn't shine. And I don't know if it's because we have too many characters here, too many Straw Hats. But like Usopp, in my opinion, like I was expecting him to kind of go off. Yeah. But we never got that.
I guess.
Like a lot of the Straw Hats had their one-on-ones, but Usopp, he was kind of in a way set up to fight Page One. And then you saw him try to like, you know, throw his, plant seeds at him, and nothing worked. Like it did 0 damage to him.
Page One about to
and
fall.
I was like kind of disappointed.
Page One was definitely about to fall Usopp. I do think, in general, with Wano, like I said, one of the hardest arcs to rate, but the peaks, like for instance, when I compare Wano to B.D.A, right? It's like, how do you even start? Because B.D.A is one of my favorite arcs of all time, just because of how condensed it is. Sanji, Mihawk, Zoro. It's just a very, very good arc. But I'm like, how does it stack up to how many chapters is B.D.A? 20, 30? Right?
I think it's like
if that many.
It could even be less,
right?
yeah.
And so, as opposed to Wano, over 100 chapters and how much higher peaks as far as hype. But it's like, I think that's probably the thing with One Piece, which I enjoyed and I loved. I kind of loved it when it was a bit more contained. You know what I mean? When it was a bit more simple. And I feel like, you know, as a story goes on, of course it starts to scale and characters get stronger, more things has to happen, there's more characters, but I think simplicity sometimes is best when it comes to One Piece, and that's even with the anime, where I'm not sure if you guys saw the episode when Luffy unlocked Advanced Conquerors for the first time.
Yeah.
And why I enjoyed it was pretty, and because as a manga reader, I just want to see how they adapt the source material. I already know what's going to happen. For a lot of anime onlys, they didn't understand what was going on, right? They didn't even realize that Luffy was not touching Kaido. It was just like,
because it's all the aura, like all the lights. It was basically like fireworks. It felt like Dragon Ball Z for the most part, which is an interesting take on Wano, I guess. They got to like
all the pedals and
build
shit.
the hype,
It's like tickets to Lollapalooza.
Yeah,
like, it was just a light show.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks cool, you know, like that's what you would say. But then as like a avid One Piece fan and a watcher, especially early One Piece, it just doesn't feel like One Piece when you see it.
It's not as contained. It's pretty. But the thing is, they're going after the general audience, where general audience likes this. For the most part, I saw people that a lot of anime onlys, they love it, right? They love it. But for manga readers, they're like, wait, but do you guys know what's going on? Right? Do you guys understand how important this is for the story? And they're like, bro, I don't give a fuck. Like,
which is true, and it's fair, and it's completely fair,
right,
because
right.
I like the point that you made, because you know, especially as content creators, we overanalyze everything. Anyway, so we look for all like the details, best adaptations.
Yeah,
these guys are just sitting down to have a good time.
They just want to have a good time,
hype, bro.
It's kind of like me watching Dragon Ball Super, right? Like
exactly. I do not use my brain when Dragon Ball Super.
Nothing.
Oh, Dragon Ball Super.
But it's such a good time. It's such a good time.
Yeah.
The thing is, I've gotten spoiled on Dragon Ball Super. I know some wild shit that just happened. Right?
It's oh man,
those memes are funny, bro. Oh my god,
hilarious, right? And so I'm just like, I think what we have to kind of realize at this point, social media is kind of part of marketing, a huge part of marketing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think things like that, because now I'm interested in Dragon Ball Super, right? Now I'm like, I want to watch it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it, to know what happens. Even though people are saying it's astronomically bad, I want to watch it because, like, memes is like a huge part of marketing.
It is.
It's such a big part. And so I think, I'm not sure how much companies are taking that into consideration, where it's like, yo, we want to get into the algorithm, right? We want the trend, right? And so with One Piece and some of the things that comes out of it, I think they're trying to capture as many people as possible as opposed to catering to just manga readers, which makes sense because it's a completely different medium.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But overall, I would say Wano is a good arc. We'll have to, again, go back into it and discern just how good it was, right?
Would you compare other arcs, highs and lows, to be able to rate Wano? Because I feel like that would be the only way you can really compare it to others, by looking at the highs and lows and see if it affects your.
It's so tough. As well. It's so tough because I think of Whole Cake Island, right?
Yes.
Whole Cake Island kind of was the same thing, but I don't think it had the peaks that Wano had. But
no,
the lows were. I don't think it had the same lows. Actually, the lows revolved around like, the forest.
The cake.
The forest was pretty painful.
The forest had like some slow moments with Randolph and all that, King Bomb and
Randolph
and Diesel and Chopper and them. But I was like, all right, that's whatever, right? And then he had Sanji. The whole outcome of baking the cake did not give me the resolution that I wanted. Yeah. Because it temporarily like paused. Big Mom didn't completely stop her or knock her out. So it's just like, okay. But then we had Katakuri, right? We had Katakuri versus Luffy in the fight, but even the conclusion of that was not what I expected. But, you know, here's the thing of Wano. Wano can get better as we find out more information.
Absolutely.
Right? Because some things can get better because over time, some arcs have gotten better for me the more information I found out. Skypiea has gotten better for me over time.
Fishman Island is a perfect example of that.
Fishman Island has gotten better for me over time. And so for Wano, I think it's going to be the same thing where people are going to come back and be like, you know what? Wano wasn't that bad. They do it every arc. But only arc people didn't do that was Zoe, because I think right after Zoe, people were like, this is fire. But Zoe was like just like 30 chapters, 35 chapters. Zoe was a short arc.
I thought it was shorter than that. Wow. Zoe
was a short arc.
Yeah, it's super short.
Right? But it had like amazing moments. Raizo's save, right? And so it's just it's so hard to compare arcs. Like I would say, it just depends on how it feels to you. People are gonna have like make their lists and rankings and tiers, all the different stuff, but just how it feels to you. Right now, Wano feels like an 8 for me. That's what it feels like. It feels like an 8, 8.5. But I can. It hasn't passed Sabaody and Marineford for me at all. I'm sorry. Like those two are still the pinnacle. But all right, guys, give me your final thoughts on this chapter and Wano, I guess, in general.
I still like it. I love the artwork. I love the direction it went. The villains, the characters, they were all good. While I wanted more out of it, I think what we had wasn't bad at all. And my final thoughts on this chapter too. Still sad Yamato isn't joining, but, you know, maybe she does find some crazy enlightenment when she's here in Wano. Who knows? Maybe her dad is still here and she'll say, like, some final words to Kaido. Because we do know that in the Road to Laugh Tale Volume 3, Oda did have, like, a scene planned out where Yamato was talking to Kaido afterwards. So that could still happen. Raizo's not handsome, so rest in peace to that theory.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I mean, yeah, Raizo's over here, like, posing up like nothing happened.
Yeah,
so it's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, it's in the mud.
He looks the same.
We loved it. We love Shinobu though.
Shinobu's fire. Shinobu's fire.
Yeah, Shinobu's a W.
Great writing from
thank God.
Great writing.
Yeah, great.
Think, Jay?
As for the rating, Wano, for me, Wano will never be higher than a 7. Unfortunately, I think that's where I'll put it. I know that's crazy to say now, especially after we just talked about Wano possibly getting better over time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think some of the lows have affected me more than others, and that's why. And just to go back to your Whole Cake Island point, I think the reason, even though Whole Cake has a lot of highs and a lot of lows, I think Katakuri, the antagonist, is really important, right?
Yeah.
And unless Oda does something magical with Kaido's character, I just don't see how I can truly say I love Wano without the antagonist really being good. Because the antagonist means a lot to me when it comes to arc ratings. Like if you look at Sabaody, like the Celestial Dragons, Kizaru, like though their moments are so important, and they're like the major point of Sabaody itself.
Yeah.
Kuma as well, another underrated antagonist actually in Sabaody. Kuma was a thorn in the Straw Hat side throughout the pacifistas, all of it. So with Kaido, it's like, one, they showed that image of him melting in the lava. I don't think we talked about that. You know, is he dead?
No way.
Is he dead? Because that's something we need to ask now, because we haven't seen them.
It's been
weeks.
Yeah.
And if he's still alive, there's no way he's not running it back. Like, there's just no way. So where is he if he's not dead?
He's up on Sky Island with Haruch.
Maybe. You know, but overall, like, my thoughts on the chapter, I mean, you guys, I didn't like it, right? So that's really it. It's just, I think I understand, Sai, why you loved it, and I also understand why people felt the little Toei reel, the flashback reel that we had with Momo and Luffy. It was emotional. It was great. The Luffy moment was also awesome as well. But the Yamato and Hiyori stuff, especially the Hiyori stuff, for more of a philosophical reason, it really disappointed me, because I've seen how Oda writes these type of issues in society, and I just know he can do better than that, right? And maybe
for sure.
It's like, you can say maybe I'm missing the theme and the purpose of it, but that's fine. I will choose to miss it because I don't accept it. I don't accept it. I don't like it. But again, I'm just glad Wano's over. That's really what it is. I'm really glad it's over.
the silver
lining is
we're
that
out of
Wano
here.
is over. We can start on another plot, another portion of the plot, and endgame stuff. So, you know, fun times ahead.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, so with this chapter though, like, I liked it in the sense that it's a One Piece chapter, but as far as like, is this how I want the events to go? No, everything I wanted to happen did not happen here.
Yeah.
Like, all the events I expected just weren't there. But I'm just like, I am a firm believer that later on, I don't know why or how, but we are gonna like come back and like touch on these small points, whether it be like a cover page story or something. Like, it's not like a faith in Oda per se, but more of like a faith. Or maybe it's just me coping. I don't freaking know. I think I'm just fucking coping at this point.
Nothing wrong with a little copium, man. That's all right. We've all been there.
The copium's hitting.
I think, again, the perspective is things aren't going to go as you expect. Also, if the message is meant the way that Oda's sending it with the Kurozomi, is the residual effects, right? And what Joe Flamingo was talking about.
Yeah.
Where the winners, they choose what history is. And so for them, at this point, the Kazuki, they won this one. But with them, it's inevitable that there's going to be more Kurozomi that are going to feel slighted from this, and other Kurozomi that are going to be persecuted from this way of thinking. And the cycle is just going to continue, unfortunately. And I don't know, hopefully they can get it together. I just hope that somebody could talk to Yori and the Kurozomi as a whole are not persecuted. And again, like, there's a whole thing online about what the pun is and what it meant, but it's just you have so much influence. You got to be more responsible, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see. But guys, appreciate it. Sai's channel will be in the title. Jay's channel will be in the title. Also be in the description. I say again, just very polarizing, volatile chapter. I can't wait to see what happens next week. I have no idea what's gonna happen. Right? They could go to some shit outside the world. They could just follow the Straw Hats in the ship for a while, just give us that good old Straw Hat just interaction. Or they could get attacked by Shiki. Who knows? But
the Big Mom Pirates.
Big Mom Pirates could be at the bottom of the waterfall, and we have Big Mom Pirates versus Kid Law and Luffy again.
It's happening, bro.
Who knows?
Smoothie hasn't shown out yet.
Oh God, I have no more hope for Smoothie. Again, after Smoothie probably is the person that Kid beat to get the Poneglyph. It's just like, it just snowballing. It just keeps getting worse with Smoothie. You know what I'm saying? So We'll see. Guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Of course.
Peace.
Take care, everybody.
Okay, I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.